The Chicago Bears are literally running away from their own city, and Democrat Mayor Brandon Johnson is scrambling to explain why a football team won't stay in this crime-infested, high-taxed, crap-hole wasteland of a city. When your city is so broken that a franchise worth billions of dollars would rather move to Indiana than deal with your failed leadership, you know something catastrophic is happening in America's heartland. So this isn't just about football. This is about the complete collapse of a Democrat-run city, and especially other cities across America. Chicago, the once proud home of the Chicago Bears for over a century, has become so dangerous and poorly managed that even iconic sports franchises are fleeing. They built their stadium after World War I, Soldier Field. Think about it. But Mayor Johnson claims there's clearly evidence that the Bears should stay. But the only clear evidence here is that the policies have turned Chicago into an unlivable nightmare. And when businesses, families, and now sports teams are all heading for the exodus, that's not coincidence. That's consequences. And the Bears' potential move to Indiana isn't just a slap in the face to Chicago. It's a warning shot to every American city about what could happen when you elect radical Democrat socialists who prioritize woke ideology over basic public safety and economic stability. And speaking of major moves happening right under our noses, there's another story breaking tonight that most people completely missed. Breaking news is breaking quietly, and most people missed it. While headlines focused on the Bears fleeing Chicago, the Trump administration just released a document that could fundamentally reshape the U.S. mining sector. This is real, and it's unfolding right now under Executive Order 14241. This goes far beyond typical policy changes. We're talking about a complete transformation of how America sources critical materials. The timing is not coincidental. As cities like Chicago crumble under Democrat leadership and tax burdens, Trump is quietly building the foundation for American energy independence. Vizsla Copper has been tracking these developments, and what they've uncovered is staggering. While mayors like Brandon Johnson drive businesses away, smart investors are positioning themselves in the sectors Trump is prioritizing. So this isn't speculation anymore. It's happening. The question isn't whether this will reshape America's mining future, but whether you'll be ready for it when it does. The patterns are clear. Democrat cities are collapsing while Trump policies create real opportunities, which just brings us right back to Chicago. But here's the twist that nobody's talking about. Rachel Nichols, hardly a conservative voice in honesty, is absolutely destroying the Bears' ownership, saying if they can't afford to keep the team in Chicago, they should sell it. Even liberal sports media is admitting that abandoning Chicago is a desperate move. Meanwhile, Governor Pritzker is literally kicking field goals and publicity stunts trying to save face. The desperation is real, and it's getting pathetic. Let's get into it. Guys, I live in this area, and I can tell you what, I have been so upset that the Chicago Bears are getting ready to go, but I understand. I understand what's happening. I don't go to Chicago unless my life depends on it. And then when I do go to Chicago, my life literally depends on it. So it is what it is. From Bob the Builder, somebody should tell Democrats in Chicago that President Trump is not running against them. They should talk about failing schools, high crime rates, and homelessness and high taxes instead. Let's see.
Trump. Vote Juliana.
Fuck Trump. Vote Juliana.
Fuck Trump. Vote Juliana.
They said it, not me. I'm Juliana Stratton, and I'm proud to have lived my whole life on the south side of Chicago. I'm not scared of a wannabe dictator. I'm running for Senate to stand up to Donald Trump. I'll abolish ICE and hold Trump accountable for the crimes he's committed. Just like they said, fuck
Trump.
Fuck Trump.
Fuck Trump.
Vote Juliana.
That's why I approve this message.
I want to apologize about the language. I know the language would be included in that, but that is Julia Stratton. Illinois is Illinois' lieutenant governor that she's running for U.S. Senate. And that is one of her first major campaign ads, and everything was F Trump. That's insane. Like, are we at the point in America where language doesn't matter? And I do apologize. I did not know there was going to be language in that, or I would have prefaced that for you. So we try to cut those out over here. So I am sorry for that. So this sets up the broader context of Democrat leadership failures in Chicago, which perfectly leads into businesses' exodus story we're about to see. All right, so we had McDonald's leave Chicago. We had Citadel leave Chicago. We had Caterpillar. There was a Boeing that was here, United Airlines. Now the Chicago Bears, plus 100 other major companies. Chicago is surprisingly a major corporate center. But the Magnificent Mile is mostly empty. It's insane. From the Washington Free Beacon, yet another business may pick up and leave the high tax, high regulation, high crime nightmare, otherwise known as the state of Illinois. Thank you, JB Pritzker. There's the NFL's Chicago Bears. Let's see. So It says, Indiana Governor Mike Braun announced Thursday that a framework had been reached to move the Bears about 20 miles. It's literally 20 miles away. Hammond, Indiana is right across the border. So let's see. Annual net domestic migration of single establishment firms for Illinois, meaning businesses. In 1995, we lost 76. And then as soon as you get over to 2020, right when J.B. Pritzker came in, 2018, we show that there was 110 that came out first year, 102 businesses, 137 major corporations, 155, 209, 260, 218. We're getting desperate in Illinois, and they keep raising the taxes because they lost all the corporate tax structure from the people they kicked out. So they have to raise property taxes in order to make up the deficit, which is why the Chicago Bears are not wanting to stick around. So now we have concrete examples of that failed leadership. The Bears are actually leaving. And here comes a local reaction from Illinois residents. From Millard, run like hell from that poop hole, crime-ridden Chicago, and God's speed. And I live in Illinois. Illinois lawmakers push back on Chicago Bears. Bringing up an Axios article, we could probably pop into that super quick. So essentially this article is going to break down that Illinois was set to vote the morning, which was yesterday, to give a tax incentive to the Chicago Bears. They bring in billions of dollars of revenue to the state of Illinois through people coming in and tickets being sold and a whole bunch of other ancillary things that happen with that, including bar sales, things like that. And they canceled it right before the Chicago Bears were supposed to go in. Brandon Johnson said he reached out to the Chicago Bears as well to try to keep him here, and they ignored his phone call. And then they announced they were resuming talks with Indiana. So the residents' frustration with crime sets up the political blame game that's about to unfold between state officials. And they say no crime problem in Chicago, according to Pritzker. I can tell you, firsthand knowledge, there's crime everywhere. I don't let my kids go to Chicago. I don't let any of my friends go there unless they're protected. And this is why. Let's see.
Damn, twin pops. Come on, cuz.
Real J. Blood on that. They know what's going on, though.
And this is one video. This is all over the place. This happens all over the city of Chicago. And if you don't have a concealed carry in Illinois, you are not in the right frame of mind.
Doing anything over 25, we find it up.
You come our way, it's more than 150 come.
And there's no fear for them doing this because they know Brandon Johnson. They know the city of Chicago is not going to arrest them. Do use facial ID on these people. Figure it out. Those are all legal weapons. Illinois wants to restrict people having Second Amendment rights, but then they don't do anything for this. It only affects law-abiding gun owners. That's why you got to join the Illinois State Rifle Association and help protect your rights. So Pritzker's denial of the crime problem transitions perfectly from how he's mishandling the Bears negotiations. For my friend Rick Heidner, I was asked about the Chicago Bears in Indiana this morning on CBS Chicago. He's running for governor. J.B. Pritzker's fumbling this deal. Now it's going to cost a lot more money to try and keep them there.
I would be remiss in light of the current headlines. How do you feel about the Bears potentially leaving the state of Illinois? And is there a place in state government to work to try to keep the team here?
So I've been saying this for months, and honestly now, all of a sudden, there's an epiphany for him to have. 326 acres is a city inside of a city. Not only do we get the stadium, and then we'll get the Super Bowl, and we'll get all kinds of concerts. You're talking about hotels and restaurants and bars. Arlington Heights is a city inside of a city. And we're going to get a fuel center, and we're going to get unbelievable tax dollars. So to now come up, after 3 years, the Bears have owned that property. I've said it'd be half-built if I was governor. That property would be half-built. Now we've opened Pandora's box into Indiana. We are in this horrible position. It's going to cost us way more money. And the Bears have rented for 100 years. I'm a businessman. They deserve to own their own property. This is a mega project besides the stadium for our state. And again, build, give them incentive, get a tremendous amount of tax, give them some of that back, okay? I've done it my whole life. You know, we lose the Bears. We're not at zero. We're at a huge negative because we lose everything that they've already produced for us. Instead, if we do this over here, we're at a huge positive. 0 from 0 is 0.
Right.
Half or 3/4 of a lot is a lot.
So you have some strong opinions about that.
Oh, it's simple for me. I said I could have gotten a room with them. I wouldn't have had to hire some company from New York to negotiate this. One week, 2 weeks in a room, I could have had this done. Absolutely. All they ever wanted was the infrastructure money. And what does our government do? What does Illinois do? What does Pritzker? Oh, you have to pay off our debt, $523 million. They're renters. They're obligated to pay their lease. They're not obligated to pay your mortgage.
Rick Heidner, we could talk much more about this subject alone and many, many others, I know.
Yes.
But I really appreciate you being here.
No, thank you so much.
So that's what it comes down to. The Bears were going to be spending $2.5 billion out of pockets. So that's how much it costs for them to build a new stadium with a dome, and it's a sad fact that it's going to be a dome. They were going to go to Arlington Heights, Illinois, and they were going to spend $3.2 billion in Illinois to build it, or $2.5 billion in Indiana. So they asked the state legislature of the state of Illinois to help make up that $700 million difference. And that's what the whole fight was about. It was over $700 million. Instead, you go to Indiana and it's not organized. You still have to use some union labor, but Chicago is 100% union. That's where the $700 extra million came in, on top of the property taxes and everything else that goes into it. And that's why the Bears chose a little bit differently. So the criticism Pritzker's fumbling leads directly to more pointed attacks on his competence and political future. J.B. Pritzker is running for president, guys. If you want this nationwide, make sure we do our best to get some people elected that'll embarrass him and hopefully never let him do it. So J.B. Pritzker is now taking shots at the Bears for wanting to move out of the cesspool of Chicago and relocate to Indiana. He's lost his state's most valuable sports team due to incompetence. His presidential hopes are completely cooked now, and he knows it.
A surprise to us. The Bears actually, yesterday, we completed more than 3 hours, my team did, of discussions with the Bears. Very positive discussions, and indeed mostly agreed on a bill that would move forward this morning. But they asked us not to move forward with it this morning because they said they wanted to tweak a couple of items in the bill, which were things that we were working with them on. And so to have a statement put out by the Bears, now they're saying to us that that statement is not some confirmation that they're moving to Indiana, but rather that Indiana had asked them to say that, they're going to move forward with the negotiations in Indiana. But I have to say it's very disappointing to hear that they would put that statement out but not say anything about the advancement that's been made in the state of Illinois. But we're waiting to hear from the Bears what they'd like to do next.
It was a nice little spin he put on it, right? He's like, oh, no, they didn't say they were going to. They put out a statement on it. Indiana confirmed. Everybody knows what they're trying to do, okay? They screwed up. Brandon Johnson messed up. J.B. Pritzker screwed up so bad. They lost the Chicago Bears. That's like saying the Green Bay Packers are going to move out to Minnesota. It's crazy. It's a crazy. But the competence criticism escalates as we bring in a major political voice with even harsher condemnation of Pritzker's priorities. Laura Ingram's coming back. So our Nepo baby billionaire governor just got outplayed. From real Rod Blagojevich, our friend here at the Next News Network, when he got out of prison, he did a fundraiser with Next News Network to support me running for state senate. It was a blast. His first political appearance after he got out of jail. Wonderful time. And guess who pardoned him? Trump. So let's see here. He spent $3 billion on illegal immigrants, but he can't help out with $600 million on a stadium. Let's see.
Gov, who's to blame here? Pritzker or the Bears? The Bears, the fool.
Well, our Nepo baby billionaire governor just got outplayed by the governor of Indiana. I wish I was still governor because the Bears would never leave. And Pritzker was outplayed because his priorities are all wrong. His priorities are all about fighting law enforcement. It's fight law enforcement when it comes to protecting illegal immigrants, and tens of thousands of whom are violent criminals. Why? Because he is pandering and servicing the lunatic fringe and the Bolshevik majority that has now taken over the Democrat Party. It's no accident that the Bears want to leave Chicago and in Illinois because, like the other businesses you pointed out, nearly 1 million people have left Illinois since he's been the governor. And since he's been the governor, he's raised taxes and fees more than 50 times on the people of this state, spent nearly $3 billion on illegal immigrants. His priorities reflect this new Democrat Party. And the Chicago Bears fan base are traditional, hardworking, working people, blue collar.
Right.
the people the old school Democrats used to stand for, but this new school Democrats with this Nepo baby Bolshevik billionaire are pandering to the crazy left wing and doing it at the expense of working people. And as a result of that, we may lose our beloved Bears. And it's really reprehensible.
Reprehensible is an understatement. It's embarrassing. And it's so badly mismanaged that one of the most iconic things in Chicago is Soldier Field. They wanted to change the name of Soldier Field. It was there to represent World War I veterans who fought overseas to help free the world. They tried doing that about 10 years ago because they don't like veterans, nor do they like cops. It's scary. But Blagojevich's policy criticism transitioned to legislative reality. The Bears deal is actually moving forward despite Illinois leadership. From the Illinois Review, good friends over there, the Chicago Bears just moved one step closer to building a new stadium in Indiana. SB 27 advances their plan for a world-class venue in Hammond near Wolf Lake, and they're praising Indiana leaders for getting it done. If you guys can, go on X, follow the Illinois Review, or on Facebook. The Chicago Bears one step closer to a new stadium in Indiana. Let's see, failed leadership from Governor Pritzker closed. It's a good pick. So as the deal advances to Indiana, we shift to the cultural impact and what this means for Bears identity. So Jim Rome, even Jim Rome's winning. That's pretty crazy. Indiana Bears of Chicago? How does that grab you? At Adam Rank at the after hour. Let's see.
I sort of kind of like the sound of it. The Indiana Bears of Chicago. Or if you prefer, the Chicago Bears of Indiana. It's not done. Or I'm not saying it's done. It's not done. But it might be soon. It never looked more real than it looks right now. So having said that, let me break out something that my Boston-bred old man Jay used to always say to me when he was getting ready to drop some bomb on me that he knew that I hated. And I quote, "How's that grab you, Jimmy? How's that grab you?" Hey, Adam, how does the Bears playing in Indiana grab you, Adam? How's that grab you? How's that grab you? Hey, Adam, what's up? How's that grab you?
What's going on?
How's that grab you?
How does it grab you?
The Indiana Bears of Chicago. How's that grab you?
Well, listen, if they're gonna have to be referred to as the Indiana Bears of Chicago, then it'll be the LA Rams of Inglewood, the Las Vegas Raiders of Paradise, the New York Jets of East Rutherford. Like, what about, and it's one of those, the San Francisco 49ers of Santa Clara. It's just one of those things. Like, these are the way NFL owners operate. They don't care. They literally don't care. Like, I have a history. Like, when I went to Chicago this year to go watch a game at Soldier Field, because I'm like, who knows how long we're going to continue to play here. You know, there was something about like walking around that place. Like, this is where my parents walked. Like, they went to this stadium, or what's left of this stadium, but they walked these grounds. I'm sure that they passed this ticket booth. They've done all these things. And NFL owners are like, yeah, but how much can we get for a skybox? Can we host a Super Bowl? And then you figure out what's really important to them, and you realize this is the cost of doing business. And if the lawmakers in Illinois are going to
Adam, it's a great story and it's moving, but if it'll make you feel better, your kids are going to walk around in Indiana, so you have that.
Yeah, if they care, they don't even care. Like, the Bears are like so far down on their list of priorities.
You know, but it's a lot safer over in Hammond, Indiana. I'll say that. I'd bring my kids to that Bears game instead of going to Soldier Field for it. The identity question leads to broader reactions about Chicago's crime ranking and comparisons to other cities. From Tim Evans, I 100% love it. It's Rachel Nichols. I love the move. Chicago ranks 38 out of the 50th largest cities, indicating higher crime levels compared with many large cities nationwide. Get popping on the getting Jets and Giants back to New York, and then we could talk. Let's make it smile. Go Lions.
The idea of a team whose ownership is worth $1.5 billion.
Oh, I don't know why the audio's not going. I'm definitely not going to narrate it.
Instead of staying in Chicago for tax money, just blows
Brian, can you pull the
mind.
audio
These are
to
the
two
Chicago
channels?
Bears. You know the two stadiums that the Chicago Bears have played with in their history?
All right, we're going to back out of this, guys. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I definitely can't hear it. So we're going to get to the next one here. Sometimes that happens, guys. It's a live show. We got to just roll with it. Public reaction builds to desperate attempts by Illinois to leverage the situation. So let's see here. From God JB Pritzker. I love this account. God JB Pritzker. I love this account so much. Here's my attempt to keep the Chicago Bears from leaving Illinois and giving Indiana 2 teams and none in Arlington Heights. We have JB Pritzker kicking a field goal. Let's see.
Pritzker lines up for the potential game winner. The kick is away. Oh, it's wide right and short. No good. Pritzker can't believe it. He's completely dejected.
He's most certainly no Robbie Gold. That's clearly AI, but it's hilarious. So individual desperation transitions from political response from Chicago's mayor trying to save face. Okay, Brandon Johnson, he's the mayor of Chicago. He's a devout communist. He's all about, raising taxes and not protecting people. They have a system in Chicago called Spot Shotter or Shot Spotter. So like if the gunshot goes off, they can triangulate the location and then send over police there right away. So they know, boom, 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 shots happen. Let's get our people there. Let's keep our citizens safe. He said it was racist and they removed it. Think about that for a second. He doesn't care about safety. He cares about optics. But he tried to cover this up. Let's see. Democrat Mayor Brandon Johnson is upset that the Chicago Bears are leaving Chicago for Indiana. Says there's clear evidence for why they should stay. And he's got the best evidence I've ever heard. It's such a good argument. You guys are going to love this. Just watch. It's so good.
Is my face straight?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Keep a straight face here. Straight. The Bears belong in the city of Chicago. The Chicago Bears belong in the city of Chicago, right? And I've said repeatedly that the door is always open for conversations, Kevin Warren did call me yesterday. We didn't get a chance to connect, and I still firmly believe that their best position is in Chicago, and it's evidence. The evidence is clearly speaking for itself.
The evidence. What evidence? You said the evidence was the name Chicago in the Bears' name. That's it. That was his evidence. But he had to make sure, okay, I'm going to say this with a straight face. It's a straight face. He's got to line up for it. Okay, guys. He spends one day a week inside the hospital for panic attacks and stuff like that instead of being the mayor of Chicago. This guy clearly has no idea what's going on. And Lori Lightfoot was one of the worst mayors we've ever had. But this guy's worse. And one thing she said before she left office, if you think I'm bad, wait till you see this guy. And I will rarely ever be quoted as saying Lori Lightfoot was right because, dear God, was she a horrible mayor. But she wasn't wrong about Brandon Johnson. The guy, he's at like an 8% approval rating. 8%. And it's because he doesn't know what he's doing. And he just lost the Chicago Bears. You're the mayor of Chicago. That's should be one of your top things that you got to take care of. But Mayor Johnson's defensive response set up the final revelation about how toxic the political environment in Illinois has become. From Paul A. Sipspula, Illinois governor called President Trump a Nazi today during Pritzker's State of the State speech. Democrats are making the same lame attacks against Trump, and they did during his first term, in that they are expecting a different result. Remember yesterday when one of the fake news reporters was on TV and he's like, hey, when have we ever called, President Trump's been racist? He says this, and they've tried to level. That's never happened. They've never done it. And Caroline's like, wait, are you kidding me? You really didn't do that? And J.B. Pritzker's calling to bring down rhetoric. So, the political temperature's too high. Bring down rhetoric. By the way, Trump's a Nazi. All of his followers are fascists. And then, ICE agents are kidnapping American citizens. He speaks out of both sides of his mouth, just like typical politicians.
We don't have kings in America, and I don't intend to bend the knee to one. If you think I'm overreacting and sounding the alarm too soon, consider this. It took the Nazis 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 days, 8 hours, and 40 minutes to dismantle a constitutional republic. And all I'm saying is that when the 5-alarm fire starts to burn, every good person better be ready to man a post with a bucket of water if you want to stop it from raging out of control.
Oh, big talk from big guy. He was talking about taking a knee. If he took a knee, his leg would probably shatter. You guys see how he looks, right? Anyways, we're going to get back away from the identity politics. This is coming from the same guy who used such strong... We had the longest lockdowns in the entire country. The entire country. We were locked down every day. City of Chicago looked like a ghost town. You couldn't get a job. You couldn't work anywhere unless you had those little specific cards. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. And then they fired people. They're kicking kids out of schools. You can't pray to God. You can't say God in the classrooms. You want to talk about draconian measures? You are it, JB. You are the thing that our founding fathers warned against. And billionaires think they could do whatever. He thinks he controls the state. He owns it. We've had the highest property taxes, the highest criminal burden in the country. People get killed. He's letting illegals drive CDLs that are killing people every single day. They just did cashless bail in Illinois. You want to know why the Bears left? Because there's no accountability for crime, taxes are too high, and they need to go somewhere where they know their fans are going to be safe and they're able to make money. That's it. And here's the bottom line that nobody wants to say out loud. The Chicago Bears are doing what millions of Americans are doing. They're fleeing a Democrat-run disaster zone for red states that actually function. Indiana isn't just getting a football team. They're getting a $1 billion symbol of Chicago's complete and total failure under its progressive leadership. The Bears leaving Chicago isn't just a sports story. It's a perfect metaphor for the exodus from Democrat-controlled cities happening across America. Illinois lost 2 congressional seats because 1.2 million people fled the state for more tax-friendly environments. And when even century-old institutions would rather abandon their history than deal with progressive policies, that tells you everything you need to know about which political philosophy is actually working. And Chicago had over 100 years to prove they deserved the Chicago Bears, and Brandon Johnson's administration couldn't even keep them for 100 days of serious negotiations. Give me 1 second. That's not good. So this is what happens when you prioritize social justice over public safety, when you chose woke politics over basic governance. And do you think the Bears are making the right call by leaving Chicago's Democrat disaster zone? Let me know in the comments. And while you guys are there, check out the Next News merch shop for gear that celebrates the America First values that actually build successful cities instead of destroying them.
The system controls information. Information control is power. They don't want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.